Good evening. It is nighttime now, and it is your crown king, nothing JMT. Metallica wrote that song about me. Where is your crown king, nothing? JMT right here at your service. Okay, my beverage has gone, got up and walked out on its own. Okay, we're going to we're going to read from the Bible again. Yay! Funny thing about this is, I had somebody tell me that I wasn't going to do this, but the truth about the matter is, the people that I know ain't never going to do it. That's right, the people that I know, they're never going to do this. So, we're doing it now. But it's something very important that I want to share with you in the Bible. I read it before, but I'm reading things and not comparing and contrasting it because I do 20-minute videos. So we're going to try to get it all done in 20 minutes. So, but what I want to share with you in the Bible are the law, the old law from the Old Testament, and how the New Testament has broken that law. God has broken that law, broken it, and you are free from it. You're not bound by that law anymore. So let's start in the Old Testament, and I will show you how that law is broken, and God has freed you from that law, and you are not bound by that law anymore because of the salvation of Jesus Christ. Okay, so we're going to start in Deuteronomy 14. Deuteronomy 14, where it says, under the law, ye are not to do things under the law. And I've read this before, and I meant to show you the New Testament as well, but we ran out of time. So, Deuteronomy 14, chapter 8, where it says, and the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you, and ye shall not eat their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. And it lists all the other beasts that you are not allowed to eat. It lists the beasts that you were allowed to eat, but the beasts that you were not allowed to eat. The ones with the hoof you were not allowed to eat, nor the beast of the air. They were beasts of the air that were mentioned that you could not eat. All right? Now, let's go to Acts. What is it? It was Acts. Let's go there and we will find out. Acts. We'll go to Acts. What is it? Acts. What was it? Now we go to Acts and we show you where God has broken that law and freed you from that law. And there's a reason why he freed you from that law. We're about to find that out right now. That's Acts chapter 10, verses 7. So Acts chapter 10, verses 7. So we're in chapter 10 right now. Okay, Acts chapter 10, starting at the 7th verse. Now this is God uniting Peter with a Gentile, joining the nations, right? At first, if you were a Jew, you could not meet with anybody common or meet with anyone unclean, because they were not under the law, and they were Gentiles, and meeting with anybody common or unclean was against the law, and it was you couldn't do it. But this is where God was working with Peter to unite all the nations. So let's just get into the story about how it happened with Peter, and how we discover that that old law was broken by God, uniting the Jew with the Gentile. Now, let's start at the 7th verse. Acts 10, starting at the 7th verse. And when the angel which spake unto Cornelius was departed, he called 2 of his house servants, and a devoted soldier of them that waited on him continuously. And when he had declared all these things unto them, he sent them to Joppa on the morrow, as they went on their journey, and drew nigh unto the city. Peter went up upon the housetop to pray about the 6th hour, and he became very hungry, and would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance, and saw the heaven opened, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet knit at the 4 corners, and let down to the earth, wherein were all manners of 4-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowl of the air. And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. He's letting Peter know. He's showing him the 4-footed beasts of the field. As for in the Old Testament, in Deuteronomy, it says, do not eat of these beasts. But now God is breaking that law and letting Peter know that, hey, where in all matter of 4 beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things of the fowl of the air, and there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. He's telling him to kill all of these beasts that I've given you the vision of. Kill and eat them. Let's read on. Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. He's letting him know, said, Lord, I am of the law. I have never eaten anything uncommon or unclean by the law, by the old law. I've never done anything like that. Let's read on. And the voice spake unto him again, saying the second time, What God has cleansed, that call not thou common. In other words, God is saying, I have cleansed this. Call it not common, for I have cleansed it. All right. This was done thrice, which means it was done 3 times. And the vessel was received, and can't talk. And the vessel was received up again into the heavens. Now Peter doubted himself what this vision which he had seen should mean. Behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house, and stood before the gate, and called and asked whether Simon, which was surnamed Peter, were lodging there. While Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, Behold, 3 men seek thee. Arise therefore, and get thee down, and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them. God has sent these 3 men, who are all Gentiles. All right. Now, back then, a Jew could not enter the house of a Gentile. Why? Because of this, because of the law, the common and unclean thing. He couldn't even touch him, because he was, you're common, you're unclean, you've been eating pork, you don't, your body is supposed to be the temple, you're just not right. The law said that the Jew could not do that. But see, God is uniting Peter with the Jews because he wants to unite all nations with God. So it clearly says right here that he's telling Peter to don't doubt the vision. I have sent these men. Get down and go with these three men. It's all right. This is God. I am God. This is the vision that I've given you, Peter. Go with them and share with them the gospel. You see what I'm saying? Let's see. Let's read on. Arise therefore and get thee down and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them. Where are we at? We're 11 minutes. All right, let's try to get this done. Then Peter went down to the men which were sent into him from Cornelius and said, Behold, I am he whom ye seek. What is the cause wherefore ye are come? And they said, Cornelius, the centurion, a just man and one that feareth God and one of good report among all the nations of Jews, was warned from God by a holy angel to send for thee into the house and to hear the words of thee. Then called he them in and lodged them. And on the morrow Peter went away with them, and certain brethren from Joppa accompanied him. And the morrow after they entered the Caesarea, and Cornelius waited for them, and had called together his kinsmen and near friends. And as Peter came in, Cornelius met him, and fell down at his feet and worshipped him. But Peter took him up, saying, Stand up, I myself am a man. And as he talked with him, he went in and found many that were come together. So in any words, Peter is entering the house, and there are many other Gentiles there, waiting the word of Peter. This is all a setup by God. He's uniting the nations through Peter. All right. And he said unto them, Ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep a company or come into one of another nation. But God has shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Therefore come I unto you without gainsaying. As soon as I was sent for, I asked therefore for what intent ye have sent for me. In other words, what do you want with me? And Cornelius said, For days ago I was fasting unto this hour, and the 9th hour I prayed in my house, and behold, a man stood before me in a bright clothing. And said Cornelius, Thy prayer is heard, and thine alms are had in remembrance in the sight of God. Sent therefore to Joppa, and call hither Simon, whose surname is Peter. He is lodged in the house of one Simon Tender by the seaside, who, when he cometh, shall speak unto thee. Immediately therefore I sent thee, and thou hast well done, thou art come. Now therefore are we all here present before God to hear all the things that are commanded of thee, God. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, O, of a truth, I perceive that God is no respecter of persons, but in every nation he In every nation he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. The word which God sent unto the children of Israel, preaching peace by Jesus Christ. He is the Lord of all. The word I say ye, which was published throughout Judea and began from Galilee after the baptism by John preached. How God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Ghost and with the power, who went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of the devil, for God was with him. This is the gospel that Peter has preached to the Gentiles. And we are witnesses of all these, we are witnesses of all things which he did both in the land of the Jews and Jerusalem, whom they slew and hung on a tree. Him God raised up the third day and showed him openly, not to all the people, unto the witnesses chosen before God, even to us, who did eat and drink with him after he rose from the dead. So you are not bound by the law. In Deuteronomy, the law was harsh. It was to be obeyed. The law was so harsh that if you killed someone, they believed that your whole family should be killed. The law went so far and so severe, and the law was a Jew could not meet with a Gentile. Anybody that was not a Jew was considered common, and if they wasn't following the law, they were considered unclean. So this is God uniting. This is God uniting all nations, and whoever feareth God, whether Jew or Gentile, can worship Him and be at one with Him. I hope that you got something out of this. If not, then if nothing, then you've just heard, the word of God. Because I know the people that I know are never going to do this. You're never going to read the Bible. You're never going to do this. You're never going to do it. But I hope that you got something out of that. So that does it for this video of the Crown King Nothing. Join me again. Join me for more Crown King Nothing.